It's hard to know what to say when somebody asks you how you are after your child dies, because there is no answer to that. And I suppose the only answer that we give is that we're functioning. But we are broken, we are all sorts of emotions, angry, sad, empty.
We set it up after the loss of my brother Pete to suicide.
He was very loved by a lot of people, got a group of friends that used to think the world of him as well.
He adored his family. He would have done anything for any of his family.
He sort of had this enthusiasm with things, and the holiday that we went on over to Dingle, where there was a resident dolphin that you could swim with. He dived in first with the expression on his face of how cold the water was. I thought, I'm not going in there. So there's lots of really fantastic memories.
Pete was incredibly artistic, but he also had the best sense of humour. Even with his art, he would always do birthday cards and they would always be rude.
When we lost Pete, it was like the foundations of my life had been ripped from underneath me, or a volcano exploding my life apart in thousands of pieces, never going back together again. The worst thing that ever could happen happened.
That was one of the hardest parts for me as a child of my parents, was seeing how broken they were.
It's changed the way I am. I would say I was never anxious. I can get anxious now. You're worried about similar things happening in the future.
We were asking, is there a liaison officer that can support us through the inquest? Is there someone we can talk to? It quite quickly became apparent that there wasn't really any support for families that had lost someone to suicide. I didn't want any other family to go through that without having somebody just to walk with them.
I contacted Sunflowers when I was at my most desperate, where I felt like I didn't have anywhere else to turn. The circumstances of Archie's suicide were quite unique. Sunflowers did all of the liaison with the coroner's office and have been successful in organising a multi-agency review.
The service that Sunflowers provide is so important for people, because without it, they are facing one of the most devastating times of their life alone. They have to navigate not only their grief, but all of the legal ramifications, and that's where Sunflowers comes in and just places themselves alongside the family.
I think the support groups are great because you've got the ability to participate in the sense of speaking and sharing, but you've also got the ability to just sit and listen and take it all in and actually just know that you've got a space that's safe.
It's a place of great safety, and I think that's one of the most important things. Safe and part of the Sunflowers family. It's a wonderful thing.
I don't think I really understood how deep grief could be and the extremes of emotions that go with grief. And that's what the support group does. It gives you the opportunity to be with people that you don't have to explain that to.
I set up a lunch group because I thought it was really important for people who wanted to come out during the day, because a lot of people don't want to travel at night, don't want to leave the house.
The grief recovery course looks at all the different aspects of your life. It makes you look at them and evaluate them and put the losses to bed, sort of thing.
Though it sounded strange coming into Sunflowers at 5 years down the line, I hadn't started to grieve. I'd started on the road to recovery when Sunflowers appeared.
I work with children that are bereaved by suicide in Gloucestershire, and I work with their families, either parents or other close relatives like aunties and uncles. We kind of work with a whole family dynamic. It's really bespoke and it's really dependent on each individual. We use a lot of artwork here, we do a lot of play therapy. Dog therapy also is one of our big ones. I think it's really, really powerful and important work to work with children. We don't have the answers to the questions they're going to have, but to help them maybe form a little bit more of an understanding of it and to maybe give them the words they need to be able to vocalise their grief. A lot of the work I do at the moment is actually in schools. I think it's really good to provide young people with an environment outside of the family home to kind of navigate through some of the stuff that we do. It's really collaborative. We work with the school, so how they can support the child as well as any other agencies that might be involved in that process.
When I've made contact and say, do you want to go for a pint at the pub? Do you want to go for a walk? Meet for coffee? I guess because I've lost my son to suicide and the other guys have lost someone to suicide, a lot of people say, you get it.
I can see the difference in the people that I'm actually befriending. I can see that sort of that smile and that little twinkle coming back, and you can just see their personality coming out, their character coming out, and they're beginning to talk about the future rather than just what they've been through.
You know, we've had lots of people that have come in, been helped, people have walked with them, and now they're walking with other people, which is fantastic.
Assist is our suicide intervention training, so it's a 2-day intervention course. When we're running these courses, you meet lots of different people. Someone messaged me and they said, because of your training, I had the confidence to go and talk to someone on a bridge today, and I was able to have a conversation with them and keep them alive.
Safe Talk is delivering to people how to notice changes in friends' behaviour and be confident enough to say, are you feeling suicidal? Or giving people the ability to say, well, I think it's all right for me to ask that question, and it's not going to put the idea in their head.
Giving back to the community is very important to us.
I think most people are aware that the highest suicide rates are sort of the construction industry, but mental health is a problem for everyone, so supporting Sunflowers can be a benefit for everybody.
By offering the support, it just means that they can carry on doing the great work that they do.
I am aware of somebody that has used the services of Sunflowers, and they messaged me to say that what we were doing was important as they had benefited from it.
It makes me quite emotional.
We've been incredibly blessed by the local community because they really have taken Sunflowers under their wing, and without them we wouldn't be here, because it is that funding that helps us to keep delivering what we do and keep offering the services we do.
A lot of people still say committed suicide, like it's a crime, but it's not, so I always make a point of saying he died by suicide.
Do you know, when we first lost Archie, I hate that term, lost him. That sounds really careless, doesn't it? You know, we are really bad as a society about talking about grief, and we find it hard to use the language that somebody has died.
It's actually really nice to be able to talk about your person. And I also am very strong opinionated that the way he died doesn't define who he was. The last 5 minutes of his life does not define Dan. He had 26 years.
I have always said that Sunflowers will be worth it. If we can save one life, it will be worth it. Everything I have done at Sunflowers and everything I continue to try and do is so that Pete doesn't get forgotten, so that he has this legacy. And I really hope that he would be proud of that.